Alright, how's everyone doing? I'm doing alright. Okay, so I have both the YouTube live stream chat and also the general talk channel in the Discord up on another monitor, so if you need something, or if I ask questions, you can respond in either of those two channels. And then I just have, for music, it's just, no copyright sounds playlist on Spotify. So hopefully we don't get copyrighted strike, because I know sometimes they, some songs change. It's pausing. Okay, I guess we can go ahead and start those. Alrighty. So then, programming won by a little bit on the quick poll, by 4 votes. So, I guess we'll do programming as per the title of the stream, I guess. Well, just to let you know, I'm kind of making this up as I go along, so hopefully it goes somewhat smoothly. But so basically we're gonna start off with the basics of, I'm just gonna go over how the Explorer kind of works programming wise, because there's a certain way to set it up. So I'm gonna go ahead and create some parts. So I'm gonna assume that most of you at least have an idea of how to do the basic studio stuff. Yeah, here. Okay. Hopefully my mouse clicks don't get too annoying. I can't really do much about it because I'm just using the internal microphone built on my laptop, so hopefully it doesn't get too bad. But, okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and rename these parts to different things. So basically, it's a good habit in Studio to name literally everything that you make. So like, let's say you make a road, you should name it road, or just make everything a unique name instead of having a workspace full of just parts. When with programming, names are specific. It's like they should need to be unique names, like variables. So probably the best way to show it is if I create a script real quick. Which, whenever you create a script, it will automatically create print hello world. Basically what the print does will print whatever you tell it inside the parentheses will be written in the output log. So if I play the game, oh, it's not responding. Come on. Alright, you see how it says hello world? My output log might be look a tad bit different than yours does, because I do believe I've opted into the beta, the studio beta thing for the output log. But it should say hello world in there. So we can stop playing. And you can change anything inside of the quotes. So you can say, you can literally just type whatever, you can, and then I'm just gonna run it to make it faster. Come on. No, studio. It's probably because of all these applications running, but okay. You see, it just printed out whatever I wanted it to print out. In which, you see this run a command bar? It's basically you use it to run a script without running the game. So, like, if you want to change something in Studio, you can, do that. So I can just copy and paste that and just enter, and it'll do exactly. Well, first it will print out what you typed out in the run a command, and then it will do what you want it to do, whatever you asked it to do. So, like, let's say you have a whole bunch of trees or whatever, and then you realize, oh wait, you don't want those trees, like you want to destroy them all, then you can write a script to destroy, remove them all. Or if you want to change the color, like let's say you have a whole bunch of grass everywhere, and you want to change all of the grass's color, you can just write it's actually a relatively simple script to change the color. It looks like I wanna... Okay. So basically, yeah, you can change the color pretty simply on the fly. Pretty much, you can just, what I do is I write out in the script like normal, and then I will test it by running the game or playing the game to make sure it did what I wanted it to do. And then I'll copy it and paste it in the run a command, and we'll update everything in Studio so it's a permanent save. Alright, I guess we can go on down to how so Lua is an object-based programming language. So that means, like, you select the objects. I'm not really sure how you say it, but you'll kind of see. All right, so the top, like the topmost level. It's like there's, okay, so in object-based programming there's like parents and children. Here, I'm gonna see if I can get a whiteboard. Here, Microsoft Whiteboard. This will work. I have no idea what was on here last, so nothing. Cool. Alright, so what we can do, so like, it's like top level. So the top level that you have is the game, like your entire game. So if you remember from, I went over it in lesson 1 of the building, like the basic stuff. But remember the difference between games and places? So yeah, that's where the game comes into place. So you have the top level thing is game. Actually, let's not do whiteboard because my handwriting sucks. But so you see how in the Explorer here, all of this exists here. Technically, all of this is a child of game. All right, so there's the asset. Wait, hold on. I think it's Asset Manager now. They changed it, but there used to be another window called like Game Manager or whatever, and it'd be like you could see the game and you could see all the places within it. Like here, you can see that I'm using the Studio Lessons studio, and there's only one place a part of the game, so there's that which you can do whatever with, and there's other stuff, but then all of this exists inside of the game, but technically it's inside of that place, but when you're programming it's inside of the game. So if I go back to the script here, if you want to access anything in here, you can just type in game and then a period, in which I'm going to refer to it as a dot. And then you'll notice that when you're typing that most of the time this little selector thing pops up, and it will basically show you what you it's trying to. It's kind of like an autofill. It's like trying to guess what you want it to be. So like if I want to access the workspace, you can start typing in workspace and it will autofill, and you can either hit enter or tab to so if I hit enter that time, but if you can hit tab as well to add to it. In which, back to the period, the dots, basically it either allows you to access the child of whatever you have selected. So we have game. We started with game, and we can hit a dot. We can either change or read a property, which if you're familiar with the properties window, you have all those properties. You can either read the value or change it. in which if I saw there, so I saw if you need the game ID, so let's say you're trying to make a anti-leak script or whatever, and you want to make so you in your script it only will run if the game ID is the game ID you want it to be, is like your game ID, you can type in game.gameID, and then that will get the game's game ID. So that's how you can get that. So then you can technically print. You can put that in a print, and then we can just go ahead and copy this, paste it in here so it runs faster, and it will print out the game ID. So let's go back to game, and then so it either does the property or the children, which then all of this is the property. Well, workspace is the property of game, so that we can go to game.workspace, and we can do another dot, and that's where we can see that we can change different things. So if I hit the properties, so if we hit the if you click on the workspace, you can see that there's different properties in here. And then let's say if you want to get the current camera, workspace dot current camera, and boom, there you go. You've accessed the current camera property. And then if you want to access, let's say the base plate, which is a child of it, you can type in base plate. In which doing this, at least for me, if once you understand how this parent and child hierarchy or game tree or whatever, there's a bunch of different terms. Once you understand that, it gets relatively simple on how being able to, once you figure out how to move in and out through everything, you can select whatever you want inside of this. So like you can go to the base plate, let's say if you want to know the position of it, you can hit dot position. And then that will give you the position of it. And if you just want the, let's say the Y position, so the up and down axis in Roblox, you can do dot Y. And then we can print that. We can just cut that into there, print, in which we can see it is -10, but let's say we didn't know that. We can print that and it'll say -10. Alright, so are you guys following so far? Because I'm going to move on to variables. Should be about a 30-second delay. Oh wow, that's pretty quick. Alright, coolio. Alright, so then being able to grab like read and write data, which another term for changing something is writing. So if you've ever messed around with Windows permissions, you'll probably see, or been in any tech class, you probably have heard of read and writing permissions or whatever. That's what writing means, change. But so you can either read or write with that. Well, to write something, before we go on to I'll show you how to change it or write it to something. So let's say we want to make the base plate invisible. We can go game.workspace.baseplate again, and then .transparency. If you just do that, it will read the data, like it will return, like it will give you the data. It's like when we did the print, it told you the value. But if you put an equal sign, one equal sign, it will assign. So I'm kind of getting ahead of myself. We'll come into it a little bit later, but there's one equal sign and two equal signs are different. One equal sign is assign, and then two is compare. I can't spell. So when you're using one equal sign, you're assigning a value, and two equal signs is comparing, like you're asking a question. But we'll go to the two equal signs later. But with one equal sign, we can assign a value. So then a transparency is between 0 for completely like visible, and then 1 for completely invisible. So let's say we want to make it almost invisible. We can do 0.8. The same thing as doing, it's like what you can do is select your object and just change until you find the value you want. Let's do 0.6. Like, oh, okay, and then we can set it back to 0. And then we can go ahead and do that, which I'm going to run it just to show. In which it's already changed because it's the instant the game, the first frame of the game ever rendered that ran. So it's already done it. So, but if I hit stop, you'll notice it's gone back to solid 0. So that's how you assign stuff with one equal sign. And that's the same thing. So if you want to change the name of something, baseplate.name is equal to, we can change the name. We can say floor. And we watch the Explorer over here. You know what? I'm just going to go ahead and run it. Instead of hitting run, because that looks like it's taken forever with OBS running and streaming and all of that, I'm just going to go ahead and do most of the stuff inside of the command bar. But if you look over at the Explorer, I'm going to hit enter, and it's going to change the floor. And then we can change it back to baseplate. Oh, we got to make sure to change the .baseplate to .floor because the name changed. Oops, baseplate, and it changed. Alright, so I'm going to explain how this works now because we're going into variables. Alright, so the local tag here is where you can use to, when you're defining a variable. Like, defining means creating a variable. You don't have to do it to put the local thing there, but I've noticed Studio gives this red squiggly line. You see, this red squiggly line means it thinks that there's an error, like it thinks that there's something wrong. So if you see that in a script, you should look at it and like try and figure out what's wrong, because there might be something wrong there. But for one way to notice to get rid of that is to just do local, which when we get into like if statements and functions, the locals will matter more. Well, I guess I can explain it now. I can explain it now with local. There's a difference between global and local variables, in which there really isn't calling global variables. We don't have to really worry about global variables in this, but basically local, let's say a function. If you ever looked at a script, you'll see these functions, and like if statements will say, let's do this. So there, and then function test2. I'm just using these to explain this. But, I have this local variable. Alright, so then this variable will only, so when you come to use it, you will only be able to act, so like let's say if you put this here with the local, you'll be able to use it anywhere in the code. But if I were to take this and put it inside of test, you can only use that variable. This variable only applies to anything from below variable and above this end, so only inside of the function. If you don't understand that just yet, it's fine. We'll come back to it later. But that's what the local, so that means it's only inside of its encapsulating like function. So if it's outside of everything, then it's within the whole script. But if it's inside of like an if statement and a function, it will be inside. But let's get into variables. So basically variables are like, so like in math, like algebra, for those who have taken algebra classes, like there's a placeholder, like x or y, like when you're like, let's say like 2x plus 3, so I'll write it out, 2x plus 3 minus 10 or whatever, and that your teacher's like, solve this, and then you have to simplify it or whatever, or they're like, alright, solve this for x, like they give you a number like x is equal to 10 or whatever, or like they'll give me the answer. In programming, variables act pretty similarly. They like kind of like placeholder values, but they store variables. They like store values. So like my AP computer science class that I took sophomore year of high school, he when he was talking, he gave a pretty good like way to think about it. It was like they're like mailboxes. Like you can put a letter or a package inside the mailbox and it will store it. Or it's kind of like a chest. It will store whatever you give it. And then you can come back later and either change it, like swap it out, or look at it and see what's in there, if that makes any sense. And there's different types of variables. So there is an integer value. I'm just going to call it int, which are whole numbers. So -10, 1, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 1 million. Those are whole numbers. Then we got floating point numbers, which are decimal numbers. Numbers. I can't spell decimal. I'm horrible at spelling, but okay. So basically, any number with a decimal point is a float. There's a difference, and luckily in Lua, it's pretty user-friendly, so you don't have to really worry about the difference too much between integers and floats. Sometimes you do, but in Lua you don't really have to worry about it too much, unlike some other programming languages, which are a little bit more complicated, like C# or other things like that. But and then there's strings. I'm just gonna call it str to avoid the syntax issue. But these are any type of text. But a string is literally any type of text. So if it's not a number, actually I'll come into this after. We're gonna do another one first. We're gonna do a bool value, a boolean value, so equals a bool or a boolean value is literally true or false. It can't be anything else. It's true or it's false. Which is helpful for like saying for what can you use it for? If the game is like let's say you're making a mini game. Let's say you want to know, your script needs to know if there's currently a game, like a mini game going on, like a round going on. You could say current round in progress equals true, and then you can know. And then when the round's over, you update that variable to say round in progress is equal to false. Or like if you want to know if your character is alive, you could either say character is alive is equal to true or false, or you could just check the health with a float or an int. If character's health is less than 1, then he's dead. So then back to strings now. Strings are literally anything that are text. So you can put numbers in here. You can put true in here. You can... Oh, which, by the way, with the bool, the true or false has to be lowercase. Like all lowercase. So programming is case sensitive. I should have mentioned this earlier. Everything's case sensitive. It has to be to a T, pretty much. So then when it's like, so strings, so you can type in, so that's back when the print thing with the quotes. So like hello world, that's a string. A name. So like part that's a string. So like there's differences, and then there's a few other ones that are specific to Roblox itself, which you can kind of see these. So if I go to add another thing, you can type in value, you can see all the different types. So we got the integer value, we got the number, which Roblox calls it a number value, even, which everyone else calls them floats, but number value and float's the same thing. So then we got the string value and we got a bool value. But there's also an object value, which these object values can hold any object. So like you can say is equal to, we can say game.workspace.part1. So then this object is holding part 1. It's like a shortcut. So then you can say obj.transparency. Yeah, it's pretty complicated. I've been doing it I've been teaching myself how to do this for probably over 5 years now, and I haven't only gotten pretty decent at it in the past 2 or 3 years. So it's a really long learning process, but it's definitely rewarding once you get into it. So then you got so it's like a shortcut. So then you don't have to write out game.workspace.part1.transparency and all that. You can just do obj in this case. Alright, so we can go back to the values here, and there's some more, and then there's C-frame values, which C-frames are pretty complicated. They hold position and rotation values of a part. I'm not going to go into it because I honestly don't understand them all that much. I I can manipulate them a little bit, but I'm not very good at them. Still have to learn more about them. But what else is there? I'm not sure anything. I'm not 100% what array value is. I think so I'm not going to go into those, but you can always look this up. Vector 3, which is so if you go to a part, a vector 3 is like 3 numbers here. So position is a vector 3. So if you want to set a position of an object, so we can go to obj.position is equal to vector 3.new. So we're creating a new vector 3 here, and you can move the position with that. So that's the X, that's the Y, and that's the Z here. And if you were to get the obj.position, that will come as a vector 3. So let's say local pose is equal to obj.position. This is a vector 3 value. In which for any of these values that I'm showing over here, you can assign. So if you add it, there's that value thing, and that's where you can assign any of these different types of values, but they only can hold their particular value. Brick color value, which is the wonderful brick color. Is there a color 3 value? I'm not sure. Hold on, let me see. Is there? Yeah, there is. Okay, so then that's where you can get the kind of like RGB values here. Yeah, it's got the RGB values and stuff like that. Anything else I want to go over real quick? No, because I'm not sure what a array value is. What is this? No, I don't know what that is. Okay, cool. We don't have to worry about it. Since we're just doing the basics anyways. So that's basically the basics of the differences. If you don't understand it fully, it should be pretty okay for now. Especially the difference between integers and floats. They're numbers. Booleans are just true and false. Strings are, so if you don't understand, it'll start to click in when we actually start doing stuff. Alright, so that's variables. Alright, then I'm going to show you the weight. So you can type in weight here. And in seconds, whatever you put in here in seconds is how long it will wait. So like if I say wait 5, it will wait 5 seconds before continuing on to whatever's below it. So I'm going to make a little loop here. Now if you're ever using the while loop, which I'll explain later, you have to have a wait, otherwise it will crash your game. So if you don't save something in Studio and you run this without a wait in here, you will lose all your progress. It's really bad. So always get in the habit of putting a wait here. But let's say if I say wait 5, and then I can do, you know what, we'll go ahead and assign a variable. So variables can be called whatever you want, as long as they're, well, pretty much you can't start with a number or like a symbol. Actually, yeah, so we'll call it part to use or whatever. We're just going to call that. Which you can have any capitalization or anything in that, which you can put like numbers and stuff after the beginning, but it can't be at the beginning of it. So we'll call it part to use. This is my favorite way. The first character's lowercase, and then every first letter of each word of the variable is uppercase, in which there can't be any spaces in it. So if you want to have spaces out, just use underscores or something like that. Alright, so we can use local part to use is equal to workspace dot. Let's mess with base plate again some more. So then we can just go into wait. We'll put it above wait. So we'll do part to use dot brick color is equal to brick color dot random. So this every 5 seconds here. Well, we'll change it to 2 seconds. It will pick a it will assign the part to use brick color as a random brick color value. So if we just watch this, if it responds, come on. Alright, there we go. Okay, green, yellow, green. Oh, wow. So you can see how that's working. So it's basically, it's just going while true. So this is an infinite loop. This will go on forever until the script's deleted or the game stops. it's just gonna find part to use, which is workspace.baseplate, and it's gonna give it a random one every 2 seconds. We can stop it, because I think it gives the idea. Actually, no, Lua is one of the easiest programming languages I've ever come across. Scratch is simpler, but that's the little blocky stuff, which I think it's based off of JavaScript, but... Yeah, Roblox uses a slightly modified version of Lua. I do believe it's modified. I am pretty... I'm not sure if it's modified, actually. I take that back. I know it's Lua, though. And Lua is really simple. It's like, simple as in you can read it. It's like while, true, do. So this means while true. So what this is saying, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and just do loops now, because when I'm showing you stuff, because I know a lot of you here are for row scale. Probably almost everyone here is for row scale. And you want to know how to make signals or something like that. So you're going to need if statements. And we'll get into events a little bit later. But while loops and if statements. So let's do if. So if true, then this is what a if statement looks like. Anything so basically between if and then, it's basically gonna run whatever is in between if and then and this end here. So anything in here, we're typing here, will run only if this is true, which true will always be true. You can't change that, because true is true. You can put in false and this will still run, because if false is false. Actually, I'm not sure. Will that run? Oh man, this is one of those things where you're like, wait a minute. Second guess. Yes. We can copy and... Wait, hold on. Print yes. Expected EF got end. Whoa. Oh, what the... Did I not copy everything? That was weird. Okay, so that is not right. Okay, never mind. So then you're basically saying false is not equal to true, so it won't run. Okay, my bad. I messed that up. But you can say, like, if 1 is equal to 1. This is where the compare equal signs come in. So you need the double ones to compare, because if you put just 1 here, it will freak out and do the underlying thing showing there's an error. So you need 2 to compare. So if 1 is equal to 1, so if we copy that and copy and paste, it says yes. If 1 is equal to 5 is not true, which I don't think is true at least. It does not print yes. And which you can also put this little else here, type an else, and that means if this isn't true, then this runs. So we can say print no. So then that's not true. You can also do like greater than and equal things. So you can do if 1 is greater than 5 or less than 5. And if you want greater than or equal to, you just put the greater than or less than and then equal sign. Like that. So if 1 is less than or equal to 5, it's yes. As we can see here, it says yes. So that's that. And the same thing with the while. The while loop will run anything. It will loop through this. It will run it, go to the end, and then it'll come back up here, and then it will check to see if it's still true. It will go again, and it'll keep going, keep going, and keep going, and keep going, and keep going, and keep going, until this is false. So that's why if you do while true, it's an infinite loop. So if you need like a daylight cycle, basically you just put in a while true, and just do have the time change. So that's that. And then, so basically I would just honestly, at first, when you're first starting out, just get used to just doing like, oh, if you want to access where the script is, so let's say I put the script inside the base plate, you can do script, and that means it's selecting your current script, and then do dot parent, which gets the parent. So if you remember the parent and children, the dot, which it's going down to this parent, which is actually going down to the property parent. So then it's selecting the base plate object, because this is a object variable stored right here. It's like, okay, so then it's going, so basically it's going to the script, and then it's like, okay, the parent value, which is the base plate, so then we're going to hop to the base plate, which is parent. And then you can either do dot parent again to get up to the workspace, but you can go back to, you can see how you can do transparency is equal to 1. So if we do that, and then we can run it, so script.parent, which is the base plate. You can see how the base plate's invisible, and then which I can literally just drag the script over to whatever part I want. And then we can go ahead and hit run again. And we'll make that part invisible. Come on, Roblox. Alright. Oops, I didn't mean to get rid of the script. There's a lot of complicated things that I don't even understand when it comes to Studio and all that with like manipulating stuff, because you can basically manipulate anything in a script as long as you can change it when the game's running. There's some things that you can't change while the game's running, like you can't change the lighting technology as an example. You can't switch between these in the middle of the game, which I find kind of annoying, but it will. Because it'd be nice if for lower powered computers, you know, you could switch it to like compatibility or something for the really weak computers, and then like future for the stronger computers that aren't lagging so much. But what are you gonna do about it? It's not that big of a deal. There's some other things you can't change, but I think that's the only one that pops up in my mind right now. Alright, so let's get into events, because I know a lot of people want to do like signals. That's a big thing. So you can either go to, if you go to, on my my YouTube channel, you could go to playlists. There's some Roblox tutorials that did signals, but there's these events. So another thing, so with the properties, so I'm gonna put this in the part 1 here, and this is part 1. I'm gonna put it on the ground, because we're actually gonna. So basically, I'm gonna make it so if a character walks on this, then part 2 over here will fall. We're gonna change it. We'll change the color to like red or whatever, and it's gonna fall. All right, so we have our script inside of part 1 here, and we're gonna do we're gonna make a little. All right, so we can make a little function here, and say we're gonna do function fall, in which we can say I'm trying to use variables and stuff to make sure you guys remember, show you how this works. All right, so local part to drop is equal to workspace, which when only it's a workspace and workspace alone, you can just type workspace and get to it. But so if I type in lighting, it won't work, or players, it won't work. For those, you have to do game dot lighting or game dot players for whatever reason. Yeah, this is kind of similar to how to build a crossing too. In which if you go to my Roblox profile and scroll through my models like a page or two, maybe 3, there's a row scale crossing there, which is actually the one that's currently in the Green Ash subdivision game. It's literally the same thing. But so if we go to workspace dot part 2, because we want part 2 to drop, and then we can go ahead and go down to here, and we're gonna go ahead and type in script.parent.touched. So these little lightning bolts are events. So whenever Roblox detects a collision, it will fire, quote unquote, fire the event. It's like the event would be like, oh, this happened. So you can do the colon connect, and then inside of those parentheses, you can type in the function name here. So false. Basically, whenever this part here has any type of collision on it, it will fall. Actually, what we're gonna do, actually no, we're good. And then we can, so this will run. So it's gonna call. It's called calling a function. It will call the function. Another way to call a function is just to type in the name of it and the two open and close parentheses, and that will run the function calling it. So then we can say so when we want this to fall, we want the part to drop dot anchored equals false. So it's no longer anchored. Part to drop dot, let's say brick color is equal to brick color dot, let's make it red. Okay, there. So when that falls, go ahead and do this. We'll go ahead and hit play here. I can show, you know what, after this I'll show you the basics of how to do that. So basically we'll step on a block or whatever, and we'll have lights flash, because it's basically that. Basically I'm not going to ever teach you exactly how to do it. When you come into programming, there are definitely more than one way to do pretty much any task. So I'm not gonna, and it's no good to learn something. It's not me really teaching you the one way to do it. It's more of teaching you the basics how to do something, because then you can think of it to yourself and figure out. So if I step on that, it fell. Which you could make this part invisible, like you know those death runs, I think they're called, or whatever, the Roblox death run or whatever. You could make this invisible. You could totally make this invincible part. It's already invincible, but you can make it invisible or whatever. Actually, we'll keep it visible in Studio, but in the script we'll make it script.parent.transparency that equals to 1, so we can still see it in Studio, and we can be like, oh yeah, here's our sensor or whatever, our trigger. So basically, this will be our trigger for making this obstacle fall or whatever. So you could go, and then you can play the game. Let's say you're running, like, yeah, you're making like a story-driven game or whatever, and you want an obstacle to, a horror game. Hey, that's a better option. A horror game, and you're walking through the room, and you walk right into that one point in the hallway, and then boom, jump scare. Basically, you hit that invisible sensor. Oh, I forgot to turn the collisions off, so the player will notice it. So the player jumped a little bit there when it hit it. But what you can do is like scale it up to make sure the player does hit it. So like it could cover the entire hallway. So let's say the hallway's here and the player has no choice but to go through it. They will never notice. We can just turn can collide off, either in the properties window or with the script. But it's faster just to hit the properties. Come on, Studio. Oh, Roblox. Okay, thank you. Alright, let's say when that part falls, it's the jump scare, and jump scare. Oh no, I'm scared. But you see what I'm talking about? How you can use those triggers. That's the basic touched event. And then touched ended, if you probably saw, if you looked at the autocomplete stuff it was suggesting, touched ended. That will fire when something stopped touching it, which I find this very finicky. I find these touched and touched ended very finicky. Like sometimes, if it's something as simple as a trigger like that, you just hit something and something happens, that's pretty good. But if you want something to go on until something leaves it, there's another way to do it. But another thing with the touched, inside, when you're making a new function up here, you can, inside of the brackets here, you can put what's called as arguments. So you can name it. They're like making new variables that are local variables. So these will only work inside of this function. But I normally call it hit. A lot of people call it hit when it comes to touched. So basically, this will call the function and then whatever first variable here. So you can make more than one variable separated by like a comma. But whatever the first one is for the touched event, every event has different arguments that they pass on. But you can basically say fall hit, and then hit will be equal to whatever part touched the block. So if you say if hit dot name, well, we'll say hit dot parent dot name is equal to Bumblebee Jake, which is my username. Wait, hold on. Game dot. Okay, never mind. Hold on. All right, so if hit dot parent dot name. Wait, hold on. Yeah. So if hit, since you could, let's say making admin door. So now this trigger will only work if it's me. So hit dot parent, the Bumblebee Jake. Well, actually, you could technically still get around it with another model or whatever called Bumblebee Jake. But basically, it's saying hit with. Let's say my leg touches it, the leg part will be hit, and then it gets to the. So each player is like a model in the Explorer. So they hit, and then it goes look at the entire model. If the model name is Bumblebee Jake, which it would be if it's my character, then it would drop it. Or like you could say the part to drop, pretend the part that drops the door or whatever, dot can collide is equal to false. That type of so that's how you basically make an admin door. Yeah, so let's go ahead and do the crossing, I guess. So like if you want to do the glider, so you're gonna hit dot name. If you want to detect a train alone, all the trains have gliders. So if a glider hit your part, then it runs whatever you want it to run. So you can do that simple check to see. Alright. I guess we'll do a crossing here. And then instead of a glider, I'm just going to make it for the player though. And instead of, yeah, we'll just get rid of this. It will just work for whatever walks over it. You can just add the if dot hit the name is glider or whatever. Alright, so we can go ahead and do this. Alright, yeah, so we can do part to drop, and we'll go ahead and just do this. Most of the time you're crossing, there'll be once. We'll start this from scratch. So we'll say along the tracks here, you put a sensor. Or whatever, you can make it red. I like to make mine red for whatever reason, and then somewhat transparent. One studio. This would be along the tracks here. Actually, I want to make it a different color because the lights will be red, but we'll make it yellow here. We'll call it this sensor, because... And then we'll make another... We'll make a cylinder here. Just above it, and we can call this light L, maybe, for light left. Oops. Light L. And then light R for light right. Oops, get this in the center a bit here. Let's anchor these. Make them all not can't collide. Alright, and then we can basically make these black here. Actually, I'll leave them red. Because we'll change them in the script. Let's see what a nice red that we like. Actually, we'll go with... Yeah, we'll keep it red here. And we'll group these together and call them our crossing. Can make a little script here and just call it crossing script. Let's just say, alright, so local light L is equal to script.parent.light, .light L. We can copy and paste that for super fastness. Replace the L with R. So then the light L variable is equal to the light L part. It's like a shortcut. And then we can do, in which another way to do the whole connect thing, you can just type in script.parent.sensor, which is the part we want to do, touched, connect. You can just do to connect, and you can just literally type in function, do the whole function thing inside of it. So it'll look like this, and then whenever the sensor here is touched by any part, it will run what's in here. And I added the hit here, so we can do if, since we're just doing the player, if hit dot, we're gonna insert a new thing here, so we can do a hit dot parent. Oops, parent. A lot of my bugs happen is because I misspell parent. It's kind of annoying. I'll be typing so fast, I'll spell it like that. I'll put the N before the E. But and then there's this thing called find first child. And inside here you can look for a name. So we'll say every character has a head. No matter what package they use, R15 or R6, they have a head. So basically, find first child will basically be like, alright, so let's see if there's a child. You'll find the first child it can find called head. And if you're not assigning it to anything, because we can, instead of script.parent.LightR, we can do script.parent find first child if we wanted to. But what we're going to do, this will return true, or it will return as false. If not, actually I think it returns nil, but it won't error out in this case, which nil is equal to false. So like nil's like it doesn't exist. It's not even 0, it literally doesn't exist. So we're basically saying if there is a child called head in the same model as whatever touched our sensor, then we'll run the code. So then we can do this is where it gets kind of finicky, because I know in my mind. So basically touched, we will say oh, hold on, I'm trying to think of how I want to do this, because I don't want to give you something a bad idea, because this crossing won't be very good. I'm trying to keep it simple, but I also don't want to give you something that doesn't work very well. But in order to make it work pretty well, it's going to be a little complicated. How do I want to do this? Try not to insert too much stuff at once, even though we're barely scratching the surface of a bunch of stuff we can use. Like arrays. Arrays are fun. But we're not going to touch those, because those are complicated. What can we do here? Alright. I'm just trying to think of ahead. Because a good way is to think while you're writing code is to have an idea of what you're doing ahead of what you're doing. So like you already know what to write, like you're steps ahead. Like you have a plan already. That's where I'm at right now. I'm thinking ahead and I'm thinking about the outcome. And it's like, okay, so when we touch it, you know what, we're gonna do a while statement. We'll go down, oops, I don't want that. We'll go down here and we'll do while. Oh shoot, alright. Hold on. Sorry, I'm trying to think, I don't want to give you a bad thing. Alright, we'll just have the crossing go for a certain period of time, because making an actual... You know what? Alright, hold on, I'm gonna ask you, would you guys rather have me show you... You know what? You guys want a working crossing. That's what you guys want, right? You want an actually working crossing. I think it'd be better just me to show you the working crossing model that's free for you guys to take, and then I can explain what's going on. I think that will be better. So I'm gonna scroll down through my models here. Here we go. Alright, so we can see, so this is, I'm pretty sure this is 100% exactly the same as the crossing that's in Green Ash, the ANG Green Ash subdivision game. So we got the sound here. But so we'll go ahead and look at the crossing controller. So I've got a bool value here called downs. If you remember from earlier when I was explaining the different types of variables, we got the bool value, which can be either true, which is checked, or false if it's not checked. Alright, so we got this little line here saying the sensor's invisible now when the game runs. And then we got a function here which will, it's called get touching parts. So basically what it does is, I'll come back to this actually. So we'll go down because this doesn't run when the game starts. So basically when the game starts, while infinite loop, so every half a second it's going to run. It's going to get all of the so basically this is saying results, this variable called results is equal to the touching parts of script.parent.sensor, so basically the sensor part. So basically what this function does up here, it uses this fancy thing, to get the touching parts. Basically it gets what I referred to earlier as a table. So basically it gets a list of all the parts that are touching the sensor part. And then this function here basically goes through, and for this if statement, we use it in the if statement. So basically we're asking if there's a part called glider in that list of touching parts, of the parts touching our sensor. And that's what this does. This basically is just a little function to say if that's happening or not. So basically if that part's being touched and it has, if there's a part in that list of parts touching the sensor called glider, then it will basically say basically will set the crossing down value to true, and for this one it also starts playing the crossing sound. In which that's all the crossing controller does. And then I made animated gates here, which are separate. Which I made it so that you can have as many animated gate models as you want, because they act independently of each other. So I thought I had that way. But basically, you made the animated gate here, and we got the gate controller, which this will animate it with C-frames, which are still a little complicated for even me, which I've been messing with these for over a year now, and they're still kind of foreign to me, which I actually found some of this code from the internet. I was like, oh, I found this on the internet, and just copied and pasted it and changed it a little bit to get it to how I want it to work. But oh yeah, I remember I was making this crossing, like I want it to rotate around this point, because I know how to make an object rotate, but it always rotates by that certain object's center. So like if I were to rotate this arm, it would rotate around this point right here instead of here. So then it would rotate like this. And that's not how a crossing works. So I want it to rotate around this. So that's what this is for. Which there's other ways to do. You can do with hinge constraints, but this basically makes it so that this actually moves it itself. I won't go into this because these are C-frames. But basically it waits. I was saying in general, so basically it waits. It will, with the dot changed, it just waits for whatever you're saying to have a property change. So basically it's just waiting for the down to have its value change, and then it's like, okay, if the crossing's down, then move the arm down, and if it's up, then move the arm up. And then the light controller here, it's the same thing as the change. It's basically while the crossing value is down, then it's just an infinite loop while the crossing's down. So basically while the crossing's down, it just flashes the lights back and forth, with the wait being the time delay, which I've set as a variable here, so I can easily change it without going to all of the time the wait things and changing the same value over and over. You can just change it in one spot. That's the nice thing about variables. You can just put it in one spot at the top of the script, and then you can change things throughout the whole thing. So that's basically what that does. These for loops, so these are for loops. They're like while loops, but basically they'll go through like an array. Basically you can use them for like tables, or it's like a while loop, but it has a counter. So I'll make a new script to explain these real quick. So basically if you want to learn more, because I'm basically just going really general, you can I'll go to here and we can look up Roblox for loop. So basically look up anything and just type in, look up anything and just make sure to have Roblox at the beginning or at the end of your search, and you'll get to the Roblox developer forums. in which they have all the documentation you would need with examples. And some of the examples are really nice. Like some of the examples are literally what you're looking for. You can just copy it and paste it into your script, and it will pretty much work. So that's really cool. So that's showing you the while loop. But if we go back to the form here. So here's the for loop. So basically, the for loop lets you run a command or group of commands a set number of times. The basic syntax includes syntax means like what does I want to look up what syntax actually means. We can learn something together, guys. Syntax. An arrangement of words and phrases to create well-formed sentences in language. Interesting. So like a syntax error would be like a typo. There's different types of errors. It's more complicated. Like a runtime error is an error that happens when you're running the game. A syntax error is an error in like the actual typo of the code. Like it like errors out and doesn't work because you misspelled something, and the code's like, I don't know what I'm going to do anymore. Logical errors are like, let's say you want it to increase by 5, but you increase it by 2 or whatever. That's a logical error. Logic error. But, so yeah, you basically say for, and that's the, your count variable. So like you can find at what stage what loop iteration in the for loop it is. So you start at, this is also the starting point, so count is equal to 1. And then the second number in the comma array thing is the end amount. So like this loop here in this first example will do it 5 times. And then this part is optional, but this is increment, so you can actually make it plus like 10. So it goes up like 1, 11, 22 type thing instead of just 1, or you can do it with 2s or whatever, however you want. So basically just look up stuff if you don't understand it from because I'm just going kind of fast over this. But I still use this all the time. Like I do believe I have links to some of this stuff. Yeah, like coroutines or however you say it. These are kind of complicated, but I have that linked because I keep messing those up. I got other stuff on here. I'm gonna go ahead and put this in the Discord actually. This is really nice. You can scroll through this, and it's got stuff all about performance. It's okay if you don't understand some of it. But it talks about building a depth. It talks about what's the other things that lag, what lags more, and how things don't work. I'll put it in announcements. So why not? Alright. So if you guys want to check that out, I highly recommend looking through that PDF. But yeah, basically look up anything you want, and there's also scripting helpers or whatever. What's scripting helpers? This is a really nice site. Yeah, here we go. It's a Roblox. It's a third-party site. Oh, I don't want to log in. Wait, did they make it? Oh, there. Oh, good. Okay. All right. Basically, you can make a website, make an account with this. And you can either ask a question or answer questions. And you actually sometimes it's really fast getting an answer. Like it only takes a few hours. Oh yeah. You know what? I will do that. I'm gonna talk about the scripting helpers because this stuff is really nice. Like let's see. This was just you can do new. By default, it's newest, so you can basically people will answer stuff. Like the Roblox developer forums to ask stuff, you have to be like a certain, like you have to be active on it or something. I don't know. I can't even ask stuff on it. I only can read stuff on it right now. I can't even reply to posts. It's so weird. That's like why, but okay. This is really nice because this person asks, let's say stamina loss and regeneration not working. You can basically be like, so you can post your code and then be like, people will actually help you. I remember asking a question about decals not like acting really weirdly. I was trying to change decals by a script or whatever, and it wasn't doing what I wanted it to do. So I asked on here, and within like I think 2 hours, someone actually responded with a good answer, and it was really nice. All right. So let's. You know what? I kind of want to look at this. Trying to make a script that when you're running, you lose stamina while you are not running, you regain it. It changes between the section to gain and the section to lose properly, but it's actually changing the same value. Characters. How do I have to log in, hold on. Oh, I'm going to change the screen real quick, so you don't see my password. Okay. I'm just gonna double check that you guys are actually not seeing my screen. Open YouTube. Come on, it's so slow. Because I think I know the answer to that guy's question, and since I'm there, I might as well be nice to give him a quick answer. Yeah, yep, you guys can't. Oop, you probably heard it echo. Come on, close. I can hear the echo. Okay. Alright. And then I haven't used this in a long time. To remember the password to it. Yeah, there we go. Alright. We can switch back here. And transition. Alright, so we can go back here. We're gonna go ahead and view source. Copy it. We're gonna do this. I think this is the issue. Because he's... dot value. Because he basically is trying to... Because it's not actually assigning it. Because basically he's getting the variable. He was basically saying the variable is equal to the value of it. And then how he's doing it... He's not comparing the right. This is all blue. Assigning, I'm trying to think of how to say assigning, what's it called? I'm gonna double check while. I don't know why he did while wait. Okay, whatever. Oh, I think I know what. Okay, because he said changes between the section to gain and section to lose properly, but is actually changing the value. Actually, we can actually put that there. Oh, and that. Alright, let me just double check. Alright, so walks equals that value, sta, okay, yeah. Walk speed is speed, that's normal, that's right. Runs is a value, STAs becomes a value. State value -1. Value, max data value. Okay, and we'll preview. To the preview. Just changing capitalization. You know, I feel like I'm spelling that wrong. Hold on. Something's English sometimes freaks me out. Am I spelling that wrong? I don't think so. No, I'm not spelling it wrong. I hate English. I know. It's the only language that I know. Other than programming languages, but I hate it so much. It's like, it doesn't look right. I mean, I even had English teachers that agree with me. It's like, I spelled that wrong though. Okay. We're gonna go and just answer that. Alright. And then we'll do the horn module once this up posts. And sometimes the answer won't be an actual answer because of course it's just a public forum post. But yeah, alright. So then I will send a link to the website as well in the announcements. It's a really nice site. Alright, so we'll go ahead and make the horn module, in which I will just insert flat out the basic row scale kit and modify him. So we need the DCC controller. In the starter pack, we need the we'll go get to the coal mine. Oh wait, it's made by row scale, right? It's the right one. Just making sure it's the right one. Should be the right one, but okay. Yeah, it's got the DC. Right. We don't need that. We don't need that. Because we don't need it. Alright, move the DCC system. Interaction to servers. Oops. Server storage. Server script storage. Don't need that. Okay. Alright, we'll go to the engine here. Let's just make it really easy. I'm going to separate that and that. Go to the engine. Scroll down to the functions. Horn module. Alright, now this is actually really simple. Remember the if statement I told you about? We're just going to make a little toggle thing. So we'll make a new variable outside of the function called horn. Actually, we don't even need to do that. Hold on. We won't even do that. Function do horn. We're going to get rid of we're actually gonna get rid of that in a second, but basically if horn sound dot is playing, so if you go up to, so you can check all the very stuff you can change with the horn sound here. The horn sound. Oh, and if you guys have played with the V2, I'm also in this video. I guess we'll, after we're done with the horn module, we'll fix the bell one to work like mine does, because his is kind of weird. His doesn't actually stop it when you hit the bell button. It turns off the looped part. Oh, one thing you need to do is make sure to hit looped on the horn sound, otherwise it won't work. So dot playing. So if horn sound is playing, then horn sound play. Else horn sound stop. And then we can copy this if whistle particle thing in there. So it's basically saying if there's a whistle particle inside the engine, then we can do false. And then we can literally get rid of all of this. It is that easy, and then this should work just fine. Oh, we do... No, we don't actually have to change that. We should. So then if I play here, this should work just fine. Oh, no. And I'm back, sorry. I had to step away from the computer real quick. But okay, so we have the strictly bass stuff, except for the slightly changed horn module. Tap the horn button once. Oh, it didn't work. That's not good. Oh, I know what I did. Oh, I'm an idiot. You know, before I do anything, does anyone have any idea what it is that I did wrong? I just want to see if anyone has any idea what happened. If you want to back it up, go ahead. I want to know if anyone knows what I did wrong. If you don't know what I did wrong, then just say no, so I don't know if people are there. No, it's not that I deleted something. I don't think so. At least I know what I did. Hold on. I'll open the script again so you guys can read it. It's... oops, wrong thing. Yep, it's right in here. And I didn't misspell something per se. It's more if I put something in the wrong spot. I'll give you guys a few minutes here. I'm gonna look at my pings on Discord for a second. While you guys see if you guys can figure this out. Oh no, I don't care about bright line stuff. Huh? Oh, whoa, that's cool. Hold on. Alright, almost done. I'm just checking up the row scale. Okay. Judging by how no one's responded to what the problem is, I'm going to go ahead and say it. So basically, I'm going to go through. So if the horn is playing already, so if the horn is playing, then play. Otherwise, if it's not playing, then stop it. So I put these backwards. So if I put this here, and then put this here. So now if the horn is playing, then stop it and turn off the whistle particle if it's like a steam engine or whatever. And if it's not playing, then play. Oops. Yeah, it's backwards. So, oops. Yeah, it's like a 40-second delay or 60-second delay between it, so. Alright. In which, of course, the sound file fades off on this one. So it's gonna keep people playing. If I hit H again, stops. Alright, so now there's the bell. Which I hit B again, and it's turned off the bell. You know, Creeper, I don't even know what a P5 is, so I don't really care about horns. I'm gonna fix this. And I'm gonna basically just say bells, get rid of this part, and say spell sound stop. And get rid of this loop part. Because it's already looped. Alright, let's see if the bell fixed. Bell's on instantly. Yes, bell's on and off instantly. So there you go. That's how you fix up the bell and horn modules on V2. So then, who asked for that? So 4014 Productions, did you get what you were looking for, if you're still there? So I know there's only like a total of 3 people watching. And anywho, so basically, what I've found is interesting when people are like, you should add this or whatever, or how hard would it be code to program this. Normally the things that people think are hard to do are actually easier to do than the things that they think are easy to do. Like crossings, as you saw, I sat there for like 10, felt like forever trying to figure out how I wanted to show you guys, and then I ended up just doing the one I already made with the, and that's just detecting if a train's in a touching a part. So, whereas everyone's like, how do you make the horn thing does the toggle thing, where it's just that little block of code. Oh, I'll have this open in case anyone needs to look at this. Which the only change is in the local function do horn. Alright, and then there's anything else you guys want to mess around with? Preferably something quick and easy. Oh. A longhorn? So are you talking about a, like, 2 different buttons on the controller itself, because that's really actually not all that hard to do. I can show that too. That's what you're talking about. It's like a second horn button on the controller. Okay, so second button. Okay, yeah. It's a little bit more complicated, and you have to mess around with the GUI, but we'll go ahead and do that. We go to starter GUI. So what I did is just move the controller to the starter GUI, and then we can go down to the controller GUI, and then it's frame, and then inside the functions frame here is where all the buttons are. And what you can do is just duplicate the horn button, Control D, and then you can say horn 2. And then the naming of this is important, so I would name it just, actually we'll go ahead and call it horn long. The fun part is positioning these, so then you're going to need to position the buttons however you want to, but by scrolling down to the position property in the button. So I'm going to try just moving them over to the side here. Oh. Wait, 1.5. It's gonna be very tight fitting. Very tight fitting. But oops, no, let's go over to 6.5, and then you can spend more time trying to figure out how to make it look more even or something like that, but oops. Yeah, it looks kind of whack, but it works. Looks here, and then we go to the horn long button, and then the text label is that text right there, horn long. Oh, that's where it's gonna freak out. You know, I'm gonna leave it like that, just cause it's a tutorial. Actually, well, we can move this. Oops, and I want to move this over just a tad. Alright, in which on mobile it will look like that, so it looks okay. Well, at least on an iPhone 7, but... Alright, so that's all you have to do with that part. So now we're going to go into editing some code. So this next part here you don't have to do, but this is how you get to be a keybind. So this is how you edit the keybinds on the controller. So you go to the keyboard control module inside of the controller local script. Then over here, these are all the keys. I'm going to go ahead and literally just copy and paste the horn. Next line, I'm going to call it horn long, just how I spelled it on the button here, except for the button name. So horn long, just how I spelled that there. And what's the key that's not used? J. I'm going to use J. You can put whatever you want there. Any keyboard control. And then we're going to do the same thing. We're going to scroll down to where these action things are, where it says, and you can find the horn one. Just copy and paste that whole horn thing. Go down, and then copy that name horn long, and where it says horn in that list, horn in both spots, horn long. So now it will activate the horn long module. We can close out of that, and we're done with the controller. Can move it back to starter pack. So then we can move to the functions, in which I'm just gonna literally duplicate the horn module again, because it already has everything we need. And then we're gonna call it horn. Oh, I can't spell. Horn long module. And then, well, we're gonna need a long horn sound effect, aren't we? So we're gonna duplicate the horn sound as well. Horn long sound. I can't spell long. I have mental issues, I guess. But and then, so what we're gonna have to do in the script here, so after I've named that, I'm gonna go to the horn sound variable where it's declared, and where it says find first child, just rename the horn sound to whatever you name the sound file, which I've called horn long sound. And then that's almost what you have to do. And then you go down here where it says function module dot invoke data. If data dot horn, you need to do horn long, just how you did it on the controller though. So horn long. Yeah, that should be all you have to do. I'm gonna change the sound though. just so that we know it's the long one. We'll just go to general audio. So this stuff's supposed to be not copyrighted, so. Yeah, let's do that. We're gonna copy the SID. We're gonna put music in this. Cause why not? Alright, and that should be it. Let's try it. Let's test it. Alright, so let's test the Longhorn, which we can test on the controller here. Pressed it. Oh, it's the wrong one. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, that's not good. They're both activating the... That's not good. Longhorn. Huh. Hold up. I haven't made a new module in a while. Hold up. That's not good. The wrong module's being fired. That means we have to go back to the controller. This is bug testing. I messed something up. What did I mess up? Horn long bun. That should be what it is. I'm just looking at this real quick. Hold up. No. Wait, hold on. Look at this. Property name bun. Huh. So keyboard control J is horn long. That's not good. Live bug testing. Why doesn't that work? Horn long bun. Unless he changed something. I doubt. No, he didn't change anything though. What's wrong with this? Unless I misspelled this. Did I misspell the module? You're the bun. Horn long. That reminds me. Except the Northern said he was going to do a Rose Gale train show stuff, but he hasn't given us the stuff to give our equipment stuff yet. He says he's busy, but I want to do it. Oh, why isn't this working? Which we know because the horn sound is... Unless me updating the horn sound didn't work. Oh, that's what it was. Oh, there was nothing wrong with the code. Well, don't get us hyped up for something and then go break something. I'm just kidding. Yeah, that's why we haven't been doing lessons, because everyone's been busy with their own games. Alright, now it should work. It's because that freaking sound file didn't update. Yeah, there we go. Freaking music. In which J key works, yep. Right, there we go, and that's how you make a button. Or at least another horn. I know I went kind of fast, so if you need to, of course, back it up. I don't know, dude. Stop. The more you ask, the more I want to say no. I'm just telling you that. I need to tell the other guy asking about the commuter trains. No. Keep asking. Because we're working on the one project, and there's only certain things that need to be done right now, so. And I don't even know if we're using... If you're having a problem with placing stuff on a track. It seems like a lot of people have that issue. I don't know why. Well, it won't be an AI train, but, okay. So, is it a custom-built locomotive? Or train or whatever? Well, AI itself doesn't lag. It's the fact it's complicated. Alright, so both of them don't work then? Man, okay. Alright, so then... One, make sure... Actually, probably the fastest way is to take all the gliders. Oh, wait. So either it's a glider issue. Can you select the locomotive, like access and blow the horn and the sounds work? Or do those not even show up? So there's many different things that could be wrong, depending on what the actual problem is. Because if the card doesn't show... Alright, so you can use the sounds, alright, so then we don't have to worry about that. Then it's the gliders. One, I would make sure everything's not collidable, except for the gliders. And then make sure that the gliders are in between the rails, so you can make them visible if you need to. And make sure they're not actually inside the rails. Which you don't need to make them visible, you can basically just select them all, and if the blue is inside the rail, because the gliders might be messed up a bit. In which if your gliders are the right size, then they should, it should be fine when the wheels are lined up like this. In which for me, I normally don't ever move the gliders, and if I move the gliders, I'm moving the truck with it, so... Or I move all the gliders as one piece, so they don't really get messed up. But, yeah, you have to make sure that they're in the middle of the track. Alright, let me know if you got it working. Wait, well, you said they work. I don't know if you were answering my question or if you were saying that they work now, but do they work now? Assuming that they're still watching, but... Okay. Oh yeah, that plugin. Someone, someone showed me that. Okay. But the train does not move. What? What are you talking about, the plugin thing that just showed up? Dude, it's freaking epic. Oh, darn it. Should get it. Actually, no, the one I'm using is a custom one, but... PH but ads. I don't know what this PH thing is. Oh! Wait, what? No, actually, no, I don't. I said oh, but then I'm like, wait, no, I don't get it. He deleted it. I figured out what PH was, but I didn't understand it. Oh boy, DM me now. Yeah. I got that part. I don't get the message though. And I'm sure that website has ads, so... Because almost every website has ads. Roblox has ads. Oh, he's DMing, oh gosh. Streamer mode. I don't get it. Okay. Bird train, okay. So the train still doesn't move. So did you... That's... Oh, it has the advanced wild script in it, right? Well, you said it worked when it wasn't on the track or whatever, so... These are the fun ones, because it's like... It's kind of hard to help people when they only have a little bit of information. Alright. And then when I want to help out with this train not moving, and then I want to... Then I think I'm going to work on... Oh, I was going to go back to scripting helpers. See if he actually said that was the answer. So that I can... but I want to work on... Yeah, either if Roblox either has ads, if you don't have premium, then they're actual advertisements or whatever, I do believe. But if you do, but otherwise it's Roblox. Yeah. We're gonna mess around with this place. Oh wait, no, I don't want to mess around with this place. I want to mess around with the other place. We're gonna make a new controller. Do they get rid of outside of ads? Because they used to have outside ads, I'm pretty sure. Oh, it doesn't say marked as answered at all. I remember back in the old days, back when there was like Builders Club or whatever, like if you didn't have Builders Club, when you clicked play, an ad would show up. Like a video ad would show up. Oh man, those were the days. So they changed it? Okay. I missed tickets. That's true. Oh, I'm reading a DM with the... for people who don't know what I'm talking about. But yeah, tickets, those were the thing. That was back before I spent any money on Roblox. God, it's 2021. I've been on Roblox since like 2013, so I've been on Roblox for like 7 years. Dude, that's like almost half my life. I've been on Roblox for almost half my life. God. Oh man, how much I've wasted. I'm just kidding. I've learned so much stuff about computers and programming and game development and how other stuff works. It's totally... Okay, can't get the train no matter what you do. Okay, Oh, I forgot. Okay, move it away from the tracks, and make sure this join surfaces button up here in the top left here is not selected. You don't want that highlighted. You want that off, because otherwise it will create welds between the parts when you're moving stuff around in Studio and whatever it's touching, and it's so annoying. It's not funny. And by default, that setting's turned on, and it's the stupidest thing. Well, not the stupidest thing. One of the stupidest thing that Roblox has ever added. In my opinion, it's so annoying. I remember when it first happened, I'm like, what the hell's going on? But once you turn it off, it should stay off until you turn it back on. Oh, I hope that fixes it. I hope that's the reason why, because otherwise it's annoying. Yeah, it's so flippin'. I remember when it first came out, then I was like, what's going on? That was before I started. I think it came out before Rose Scale, though, so I remember being like, what the hell's going on? No, it was Rose Scale. I think Rose Scale was out. I remember. Rose Scale. It's been 2 years. Tomorrow's the 2nd year anniversary of A&G. Yeah, we started A&G on the 21st 2 years ago. Okay. 3 days after Rose Scale released. So I basically have been doing Rose Scale since it came out, which is crazy. Holy moly. Yay, it works. Epic. Yeah, I would leave that setting off. I've never found the use for that. Alright, cool. I'm going to delete, you know what? I'm going to go back to my profile, because this game is uncopied locked. If you guys want this engine, I'm gonna publish this. And alright, so published, and I'm gonna send the link. Oops, wrong Discord. I'm gonna send the link in the Discord so you guys can have fun. Oops. Come on. Made the horn module Alright, there we go. So it's uncopied locked, you got free reign or whatever's in there. So if you guys want the horn stuff and you don't feel like it, or you're having issues typing that yourself, now, the lesson's pretty much over, but you can stay and chill if you want. I'm just gonna open up this thing, which is where I've started converting V1 Rose Scale stuff to V2. which is relatively easy. And then I've started making my own controller. Oh, I need to bring in the fixed controller because I broke it last time. I have to go back to the Green Ash game because I broke the controller while doing this. While making the custom thingy, I broke it without realizing it because it still works on PC, but it broke on mobile. So yeah. At first I was like, oh, Space K, it's broken on mobile. And then I realized, oh wait, I probably should have looked into this more. And we were both like, oh, this is so weird, because it's the knob that wasn't moving. And he's like, oh, there's nothing changed. And he's like, wait, maybe your Z-index thing got all messed up. And I'm like, oh, maybe you're right. And I was like, I have to check it out later, because I wasn't able to be on the computer at that point. But I tried it out this morning, and yeah, it was the Z-index, which is weird though, because you could still change it with the computer. It's just on mobile. It's so weird. But fixed it. I'm gonna see if Space K will add console support to the official controller. I asked him about it, and he said maybe. And then I was like, well, I asked him if he was ever considered looking into adding that, and he was like, yeah, maybe. And then I sent him my keyboard combines because I made it so they did that. And I was like, well, I don't know if this is the best way to do it, but it works, so I don't know if you want it or not. He hasn't responded, but maybe we'll get console support on the official one. Because I asked him, he didn't respond to it. When I asked him, it was when I first found out they were making V2. I'm like, yo, are you gonna add the bell to it? And he didn't say anything, so I don't know if he already thought about adding it or what, but maybe we'll get console support soon. Oh, he doesn't respond to my question. I was asking him if I could upload the old version of TrackSnap as a plugin, because I'm honestly not a major fan of the new one. I don't like how there's a UI here in the freaking way. I like the old one where you can just hit snap and just snip, snip, snap. In which I have the old version. I can actually edit the code of both versions. Because whenever you download a plugin, it actually saves it to your computer, and you can just drag it into Studio, and you have full access to change and edit it and re-upload it if you want. I'm not going to show you how to do it, because you can... it's not exactly a nice thing to do, so I'm not going to show it, but I found that out by a YouTube video, and I was like, they're like, the problem with plugins. I think it was made by Crazy Man if you want to look it up, but... But yeah, it was interesting because it saves it to your freaking computer. There's that, and then we can go ahead and... The sounds are so stupid. I need to get rid of it. Hold on. We're gonna get rid of the sounds. No, I'm gonna disable it. It's just... I don't like the sounds. The sounds are so annoying. Disable for now. Stupid thing. And we can go to controller GUI, paste. Now it should work. Hopefully, I didn't mess anything up. Yeah, it's below all the stuff now. Okay, cool. Alright, so we got current speed. It doesn't actually work yet. That's the thing. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to... Actually, I'm going to edit what's there so far. Starter pack. And we're going to do it on the gen set. We're going to add another module. You're going to see how many modules I have on my engines. Look at all my modules. Yeah. What's one I want to edit? I think it's the POS module. Yeah, it's this one I want to edit because it's got what I want on it. Alright, controller add-on module. So yeah, I got the normal bell, then I got the light controls, the individual light controls. What else we got? Engine, turning the engine on and off. We got the RTMS, which makes it so the train accelerates and decelerates at different the accelerates and decelerates at different speeds depending on how long the train's and how much power is on all the locomotives in the entire train, which I think is cool. And then this POS module I had just made, and I haven't actually put it in any games, but basically it gives each of the cars a string value with the player that's driving the train. So then you can make a system where you drop off like your freight car or whatever at an industry, and you can actually give money to that person. Like it knows who dropped off that car. Well, the problem is that I didn't make those engines, so that's not for me to decide. So I can't give you that stuff because it's not mine. All right, so we got this. All right. I don't need the check couplers anymore. Don't need any of this. Oops. Don't need that. You want that though. Alright. Alright, runs if loco is the lead loco. Okay. Actually, we can just get rid of all this. Alright, cool. So this is the locomotive. Then anything in here will only run when the locomotive is the lead locomotive. Okay. So basically, and then this will run every time the throttle changes. That's not good. Oh wait, no, it is okay. Okay, okay, here we go. All right, and then we'll do local, last signal. Oh shoot. Oh, we're gonna have to make two different scripts. Last signal equals oh wait. We'll come back to this, in which I'm actually gonna take the module out of the functions. It's gonna go back in there, but I'm gonna put it in there with a script so I can easily add this to all my engines. Alright. Alright. Oh wait, that's bad. I don't want it in a module script actually. Alright, so we'll do Jake's controller add-on. Alright. Local locomotive is equal to script.parent. Local, what else do I need? Because I need to get the last signal. Alright. Local last signal is equal to, we're gonna create this string value. No, we're gonna do an object value actually. Oh wait, do I want to do object value? No, we'll just do string. Last signal and script dot last signal local speed limit is equal to script dot, we're gonna need a integer speed limit. And then we need a, oh, I don't want an integer, I want a number. A float value, a number, a cur speed. Not speed. Local cur speed is equal to script.cur speed. Alright, and then I'm going to take a break for a few minutes here, and we'll continue on in a minute. Oops, I need to mute. Okay, we back goes. Alright, back to making awesomeness. Actually, I'm gonna change the stream to say, no, actually no, because... Alright, welcome back, guys. So we have... Actually, lately, Roblox has been doing these the red line error things for no reason. So it's kind of been messing with me, but... Alright. While Drew do... Actually, wait. While... Wait, hold on. Function. Update. Alright, and then script. Wait, no. Locomotive. Wait, no. Locomotive dot base. Run sound dot changed. Connect. Update. And if dot is playing. Do I say is playing or just not audible? Oh wait, it's not in here, it's in the module, ain't it? Oh, that emitter size. There. Okay, back up here. If locomotive.base at run sound, that emitter size is greater than, so that means it's only running. Alright, well, then we need a local controller tool is equal to, in which we're gonna go mess with the DCC system. Cab module. Alright, let's see. What do I need? Cab.getCab is to, which is, no. I want get cab. Can I get a cab by address? I want to get the tool from a cab. Get tool. I want to get the tool from the cab. You know what? We'll get a cab by address. All right, local equals game get service replicated storage.dcc system dot cab module dot get cab by address locomotive.dcc properties.dcc address value. print cab. See if this works. Alright. Let's see. So it should start printing the cabo. Oh! Okay, okay. It's a while. And then we need to do wait. Oh wait, no, hold on. That's right. We fine, we fine. I thought I effed up. Holy shit. Oh, language. So apparently SS Sneaky Thief Transit just made a post about hiring developers. Oh, dang. Scripters get 500 to 2,000 Robux per script. Dang. Per script. It's per script. So then, technically, you could make a script that uses a bunch of scripts. It'd be like, I think they mean like by per project, but whatever. Okay, I need to do require. Okay. Okay, I broke it. Haha. I broke row scale. Don't you love me, guys? Oh, I broke row scale. Require. How your contribution. Okay, all you need to do is DM Sneak. Is it Sneaky that posted it? Yeah, it's Sneaky. All you have to do is DM him what position and staff you're working, because they're also doing scenery developers. I am really busy, but I feel like doing it. Just partially because I already work for so many of the other big ones. I'm trying to be like being a monopoly on row scale, kind of, because I've worked on NEC, I've worked on Keystone. I kind of technically, not directly, worked on the Brightline games, and also the Tri-Rail game that's coming up. But that, not directly, but technically. Shoot, what else have I worked on? I've worked on the Willard sub, I've worked on Fierce Peanut stuff, God, worked on a bunch of stuff. Aha. Owner, okay, so yeah, it's because they're trying to, they started out all this stuff. Simulator. Dude, I want a freight simulator. But no one knows how to do that. That's where my POS thing comes in. But alright, let's see if we get this on. Hehehe. Oh, Sneaky put it in this too. Cool. I'm gonna ask him, are there part-time positions? I can't spell. Okay, getting distracted. When it comes to developing, you'll find yourself pretty much working on Studio, staring. At least this is what I do. I either am staring at this Roblox Studio, the developer form, or Discord. Oh, okay. That's good. All right, controller add-on. All right, so we got the player. If anyone's still watching, I can explain. So basically, what we're doing, if the will run if the locomotive is on. So what we'll do, while true, do. Wait, we'll update this every 1 second. This will be our loop. Alright, and then we'll do local player driving is equal to game.players find first child cab dot. Oh wait, no, we can just do cab.owner. It's cab.owner. We don't even need to do that. We can just do cab.owner. Local tool is equal to cab.owner. Oh shit. Oh wait. Wait, can I get game dot players get from character? No, I want workspace find first child cab dot owner dot name. I think that's how it works. Came in studio. Someone said that they can't join the lessons game, in which they can now. You should be. It should be on copy locked on. Someone's talking about it in another Discord. It's public now. We don't need this open anymore. Oh. Is anyone else on the stream able to see if the studio's lessons, if you can edit it? Oh. I was trying to pay. Oh. You just DM me, huh? Uh-huh. Okay, that's weird. Except to no returns like DM me, and I tried and it didn't let me. Alright, back to this. I want to see if the player has the tool in it. Does updating this... No. How does this work? Okay. Be learning how Roblox works. Okay. You know what? I'm gonna go ahead and end the stream. Yeah, because so it'd be easier for people to find what they're looking for. And also, I've been doing this for 2.5 hours, so